Like, she wants, oh, Wendy, marry a Jewish doctor, or this and that. And Bubby, who's a survivor of Auschwitz, of 12 people, she's the only survivor. And I mean, I'm cool with her and she's cool with me. Like, we had Christmas trees that had blue and white lights. Like, that's how we were mixing everything together. It was all good. There was never any drama like that. I went to all her family's functions. She herself was not that, she was incredibly spiritual, but she was never, I mean, you would never know that she was like, oh, you're a Hebrew or you're Jewish? Like, you would never really know that. She was just a valley girl from Canada who did not have citizenship yet. But she was a typical white girl, went to college in San Diego, had a degree in marketing. When I met her, she was in marketing at one of the big firms in downtown Los Angeles. She ran 2 of her own businesses. She ran her mom's business, etc., etc. Her brother was an amazing artist, younger, but I was like an older brother to him. He lived with us. And these guys start saying to us and start trying to dig into us about how we need to, like, this is the first we found out about it. Why are we going to back this guy up? Because he's a liar. And the guy made a big mistake with Wendy, with me. One of the lawyers says, this is the exact quote, you guys going on and defending James Frey is as if someone claimed to be at Auschwitz, or I swear to God he said that, or a death camp, and you found out that they weren't really in a death camp. And now they're writing books about being there. Now, again, me and Wendy have been through more than was in that book. So, I don't know about him. We weren't even thinking about him. But I just let Wendy take over the fucking machine gun post. We're like, I don't even remember what was said, but like, they just didn't know. They should have done their research on Wendy. You don't know who my family is. It's basically what, like you should have brought up another analogy. Because that was the wrong one to bring up. Because here she is, the granddaughter of someone who was actually infamous for being one of the only survivors of Auschwitz, of like a huge, huge family. And she knows that Don's not lying. And it's almost like we didn't care. No joking intended. This guy could have stolen Don's story. I just know it's a true story because I witnessed it worse than this guy told. You're not going to throw him under the bus. But we didn't know until the lawyers approached us in the limo. So we then go into the show, and we're having very quick pro-quo discussions, basically kind of out where all the fans are. They don't know this either. And I mean, there was 150, almost all women in the audience, and they had to sit like out in the front. They had a few other people. We didn't even meet them, but they mic us up. But me and Wendy are discussing, and she knows me. It's going to be my moment of glory. This is a live show. They're doing this live. So everyone that we know was watching it. People have seen this. It was on YouTube and all that for years. And now it was only on her site, but they've removed Don's part. Where before, I actually had my own little clip where it was like studio audience members defend James Frey. But no one did except me. Now, I failed in one part. Well, it was a live show. I should have stopped it. I would have totally done that. People were like, dude, I can't believe you did that. That was after Wendy dug her nails in my leg and she's like, babe, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I wanted to stop the fucking show and be like, you're full of shit. Because basically, we sit down, she comes out, and I swear to you, she does like the pre-show intro when there's nothing being filmed. And I swear to God, I know this is going to sound like I'm making it up because of the conspiracy theories coming out now. She says to the audience, like, when I say something, like, no one knew she was going to do this. They're making it sound like it was a lie, and they're going to defend him. So the audience members also think that this is going to be a defending of Oprah and a defending of James Frey and defending of the book, and that this fucking article about him was bullshit. She comes out. We still know something's going on. We don't know what. She starts telling the audience, if you cheer or applaud when I say something, like she literally said that. When we go to commercial break, then that's how she's making a joke out of it. That's how you get to be on TV during the commercial breaks. Like, I know everyone wants to be on TV, so if you cheer the loudest area, this section or that section, and when you're like, what the fuck? I mean, we're from LA, we're from Hollywood. I mean, it just really seemed cornball, what she was saying. And like, I even think other people felt that way. Like, dude, she just pander to us and say we'll get to be on the commercial breakaway clip if we cheer harder when she says something than the other person. She really said that. So then they bring out James Frey, who clearly doesn't know what's about to hit him, and those two lawyers are sitting next to him. In fact, yeah, you'll see him, I think. And when they finally get to me, I'm like, look, man, I can't remember every word exactly I said, but I said, they're telling you that you're a liar, and he went with it. That was what was so crazy. That was what the craziest part about it. And when you see this clip, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. Where like you see, they never get to the meat of the story. Now I remember very detailed thinking, wait. You are totally looking at the soap opera element of the book, and not why the book is so important. Although she's going on there saying, "Oh, we've got to tell addicts that this guy was a fraud." And I basically said, I've been through crazier shit than he has. He's a hero. I think this book's going to be an all-time classic for my generation because I know a lot of other people like this. And you are not going to call me a liar because I got proof to do it. You just won't do it. So I just want, because I was pissed at that point. I was like, you should get up. She kind of mentions how I was mean to him and what people were saying in front of me. I don't think she's talking. Maybe she was. Because I was the only one that said anything. But the audience went crazy. That was the loudest. They cheered. And then they focus in on me, and I'm sitting down. And I'm all huffy and puffy, dude. I was really mad. I'm like, don't let you should. I don't know why you're saying that what they're lying about. This is what she said on the show, and the Onion wrote about it. That he's a fraud. How the guy tricked Oprah, and she said, "Is the stuff they wrote in the article true?" Now, what did they write in the article? Well, first of all, when he got out of rehab, he met a girl in rehab. They fell in love, and he met a girl. Now, that's a very emotional part of the book that he connects with at the end of the book because he had to do some jail time after he got out of rehab. In the book, he says he does like 28 days in jail. It turns out he got out, or he got sentenced to like 2 months, and he got out in 14 days. They said the whole book's a fraud because of that. That was the biggest lie that I heard that I guess technically was a lie. That he didn't, it's a one sentence in the book. And then he goes to his girlfriend's that he met in rehab, and she hung herself and died. It's a very emotional part of the book. Now, this is what they did. They investigated it. He didn't want to mention the girl's name because it really did happen. But she didn't cut her wrists. Or she didn't hang herself, she cut her wrists. So they're saying he's a liar because he didn't give specifics about the woman's suicide. But everything that he said in the book was true. It's just, it didn't happen that way. And like, they got the audience to be like, oh, like, it was so corny, man. I was like, that's what you're saying makes his book a lie? Because the form of suicide to protect the girl's identity, he changed? Like, literally said that. Then they said, and we couldn't find his records about what went on in rehab because that's, doctor-patient confidentiality. But we did find out that the dramatic part of the book, and I can relate to it, when they said he got all his teeth knocked out, and he claims that he didn't use painkillers when they, he's inside a building where they don't, first of all, they're not going to give you narcotics in rehab, okay? He claims he didn't use any drugs when he had his teeth replaced, so he was like a tough guy because he didn't have any painkillers for his teeth to be replaced. They would never give you drugs in there, never. Or they would have had you just wait until, what I'm saying? It's just ridiculous. But they gave him Novocaine. That's the only thing he had. Trust me, that doesn't do shit, bro. You got to have a bottle of Jack Daniels and grab it onto something real hard. Like, you have to be knocked out to do major surgery on your teeth. Like, no way. And she's like, so he's lying. Novocaine's not a painkiller. You can fucking buy lidocaine down at Rite Aid. They're making it sound like he got doped up on morphine. That's bullshit. They would never do that. And they weren't even sure. That's just the only thing that they could get out of rehab. That he was not on drugs, but he was on Novocaine. He got a numbing shot for major surgery while you're conscious. Like, that had to be torture. But the audience goes, oh, like, not even knowing, but they hear the word cane, and they think they gave him a bunch of drugs in rehab. And then it's interesting because he wrote a second book. He got blasted for it. In fact, he even made a joke, which wasn't a joke, where like, she was pretty mean to him, but like, I don't remember, she wasn't as, like, she's trying to pretend like she's tough. She was more or less like, I think people were so shocked that she did that. That's honestly how I didn't know when I got out of there, and so many people approached me, and then we got home and we saw the news. All these stations ran with Oprah exposes liar. That's not the vibe that we left with at Oprah. We got the, like, people were kind of like, I don't care about that stupid stuff. But they got everyone to believe, like, just because they, like, if he got a date wrong or something like that, that the whole book is bullshit. In fact, the lawyers were saying, like, yeah, can you imagine, like, they basically during the show were discussing, you have to find the whole show, that we need a truth meter on books. That if it's not 100% with name, dates, and everything exposed, then it's only a 9 between 1 and 10. And that's what they were basically saying. That his book's not a lie. It's just that he left some little pieces out. Like, it's like a movie. It's in Hollywood. Yeah, they got a guy that's hotter than me to play me. Like, oh my God, the movie's a lie. Why? Because Sean Penn's playing Don. That's not true. Okay, then who is Tom Cruise is playing Don. It's more like it. That's more realistic. But that's what they were complaining about. And he's like, I feel like killing myself. He said that during the show. He was on live TV, didn't know what was going to happen to him. She threw him under the bus for his book club. I couldn't figure out what she was thinking, why she didn't back him up. And then I was like, oh. And I'm going to be infamous for the guy that went off on Oprah. And everyone knew me as that, even at work. But they were more tripping out on, oh shit, bro. Damn, that dude wrote the craziest book ever. And they didn't believe him. They investigate him. And they turn up some bullshit that they say is a lie. The whole country believes it, wants their money back for the book. And I'm like, dude. And Wendy was totally freaked out. Like, she's like, I don't want any part of, like, she knew I was going to go to war with that. What could I do, really? But, like, the whole country is believing that the guy lied. And to this day, people think that Oprah had really exposed him. And when you stop and you look at it, you got to find the video. Listen to what she's saying makes him not valid. And this is a book about, for people to get off a drug and how clean he got, afterwards. And like, so he went through everything, but some details were embellished for the fucking book. And they're calling it a fiction book. What's weird is I have a friend who's a school teacher in history. Because of that incident, you're going to won't believe this. Band of Brothers, the World War II movie? Okay, well, they even interview the old men, I think some of them have died now, that were there, right? Band of Brothers, Steven Spielberg movie. They cannot show that in schools as a history documentary because you know how the government's doing it now. It started back then because they cannot verify that the witnesses, the people who were there, it's not approved for schools. Why? Because if we don't, we need to censor or approve whatever we want. Like, it's really weird. It's like they do the fake news now. Yeah, you may be right, but if you approach it or you report something that we don't want the people to know, we'll ban you and put you out for fake news. Not until we say, is it cool? So my friend was like, dude, your appearance on Oprah, that's what they told. Like, he was like, I can't believe that these guys that are in World War II, and they do a very accurate job in the movie, but because it might not, they can't verify nowadays that everything these guys are saying is true. World War II veterans, that you cannot teach it in a history class. You can only teach what is in the books, but not what people say who are there. So it really was a bigger deal than you think, because they do this to this day now. And it still happens to me to this day. That fake news is what are they calling it? Well, they're calling it malinformation. And if you look up the definition of malinformation, there's like major people that are powerful people you love and respect that you might even know that have been bunked, had things thrown out of court because they're on a list that the judge reads, makes them a liar. And it turns out that they're not a liar, but they find out after the fact. I mean, there's the thing with COVID right now, because they're finding out that the vaccine, it's all under the table that it's bullshit. The vaccine was not, it wasn't really a vaccine. Well, people who at the time said that were getting blasted for being anti-vaxxers. They're threatening your life. Well, they're now justified. They're not. They were right. They were right, but they don't want to report that. Why? Because that's malinformation. Then you're going to get people to not want a vaccine when it's real. That's literally what's happening to thousands of people on many topics. And while they ban that person, guess what? They share that person's information with some dude who's respected, like a USC professor. But it's my story. Yeah, but when he tells it, they approve it. It's bad. And it's happened to people even lower than me, man. So don't think it can't happen to you because you're not a movie star. All that shit you hear the movie stars go through, it's just because they get their lives followed more often, so you can make fun of them. That shit, all that weird, scandalous shit, because shit started going down in my life after that Oprah appearance. I must have not looked good to something that's out there. because everyone in that audience was like, we couldn't say anything. I didn't know what they meant.